I do like the act of cutting, because that's what one is actually doing. One's making a break in something and then putting something else together. I studied painting, went to art college when I was 16, and then I got involved in '68 with the anti-Vietnam demonstrations, went on the big Grosvenor Square march. It was like a sort of a political awakening for me. I started making photographic-based work then because I wanted to actually bring the reality into the picture, whereas painting it's more removed, or I felt it was more removed. The very powerful photographs of some of the horrors that are going on in the world don't get published. And montage is one way of actually making these images available again. You know, they get lost in the bombardment of images that we have. I got a job on a newspaper and started making sort of almost daily montages for a thing called the Workers' Press. I like that sense of art being part of a process and working with other people. Collaborating is really important. I mean, I used photographers' work, especially with the Vietnam works from Vietnam, like Don McCullin and Larry Burroughs, all the great photographers. But I wanted to actually bring it in to the context that I was in, which is, you know, I'm a Londoner. So I wanted to bring in how England actually responded to these events and hopefully get some critique. I mean, the basis of my work is a critique of what's going on in the world. Well, I started with the CND images in 1979. Thatcher was going to bring in cruise missiles to Greenham Common and Molesworth. And I wanted to make work that, if it ever showed the nuclear cloud, I wanted to show what it caused. You know, I wanted to connect it to a skeleton, because the cloud itself had become a very everyday image. People were accepting it. I wanted to denormalize these images and actually make people see what it was all about. I made the image of the broken missile on the peace symbol and constructed very crudely. I made a cardboard CND symbol and then turned it and just photographed it with a 35mm camera. And then I had pictures of missiles from the kindly given to me by the Ministry of Defence, but they weren't very 3D. So in the end I went to Hamleys, which was a big toy shop in London, and they seemed to have a sort of guided missile department for kids, you know, selling missiles. So I bought a missile, plastic missile, and smashed it with a hammer, and then stuck it into the picture, and then made the montage that way. So it's all very crude. I want to show something that's against the smoothness of advertising, where everything becomes, you know, beautiful, and if you buy this product you'll have a wonderful life. I wanted to show something that was actually about action, that then encouraged people to do something about it, you know, to protest. Some sort of sense. I mean, it's one of the things that's really important about my work, that it goes out in as many places as possible. Because it's not the sort of work you just want to make and then stash away. It's a work that has to communicate to the public. Horribly enough, a lot of the things I was doing 40 years ago, these images are still relevant. I wish they weren't, but they are. You know, and we had Theresa May saying, you know, that she would press the button, and then Jeremy Corbyn saying he wouldn't, and then he was pilloried for that as being crazy and out of his mind, and she was praised for saying she would press the button that would destroy all of us. I mean, you know, we were living in this mad time, you know, and it's very important to try and make images that can make some sort of, not sense of it, but then can make a strong argument against what's going on in the world. There is this sort of mystique still around what art is and that you have to go to art school, which is rubbish. Because art is a fantastic way to explore, visual art is to explore your own feelings. The gallery is perhaps the only space in our society where people will spend time looking at something. It's not just something that's fleeting. So it's really important to put social and political arguments into that context. This exhibition, which is called Art Against War, is a lot of the work that I've done that's been anti-nuclear and anti-war and anti-militarism. And also because it's CND 60th anniversary, I wanted to put all the CND work that I'd done, the peace work against nuclear weapons, together in this space. The fact is in Sheffield, which has got a fantastic history of peace campaigning, I wanted to focus it on those subjects in the exhibition. Hopefully it'll all add up to something, that make people think.